So what did you want to talk about today?
I wanted to talk about a self goal of mine. I'm a
Mhm.
journalist student, and when I interview people, I find it really tricky to respond to what they've said sometimes and also bounce off their responses.
And so why is this important to you?
It's important to me because communication is essential to deepening relationships with my interviewees.
Mhm. So your goal is that you want to improve your responses to clients and to bounce off the conversation. And it's important to kind of for you to get that deeper relationship with them. So tell me what's happening at the moment.
Um, at the moment, every time I interview someone, I often forget what to say, and I also tend to cut the conversation short rather than letting it flow.
Okay. And so what's preventing you from achieving this goal?
I haven't really thought of ways that I could change this.
Okay. So how confident do you feel about doing something?
I'd definitely be open to new ideas.
So, so what's happening at the moment is that when you are interviewing, you feel like the conversation is cut a bit short, and it isn't as long as it could be, and you're open to new ideas to help improve that. So, what might you do to move forward?
I would prepare questions and try and loosen up a bit beforehand, and also have backup questions in case my other questions fall through.
And so, what would be the potential advantages and disadvantages of these options?
Writing down questions would give me something to start with, and loosening it up would help the conversation flow better.
And so they quite overlap a little bit, which is great. Any disadvantages?
We're supposed to bounce off what the interviewee says, which is why I would struggle with doing this. But having the questions there would be good backup.
Okay, so you've just said there are a few options that you can try is loosening up and writing some questions, prepare them beforehand, and you touched on the advantages and disadvantages of that it will help make the conversation flow better, and the disadvantages is that you have to bounce off the conversation at the point in time. But like you said, is a good idea that having those questions is a good backup for that in case that does kind of doesn't go as well as you hoped. So as a result of this discussion, what's going to be happening now?
I'll make a list of my goals and remember to do them more frequently.
Great. And so what would be a good time for you to do this frequently?
Before I see each client, and I'll also leave my responses and questions in the car or my handbag so I don't forget them.
Leaving them in the car or a handbag is a good idea, just so even if you do forget them, that they're already there, which is great. And so what would be your first step?
To write out my goals and to write out my questions.
Great, cool. That's a good first step. So when would you like to follow up?
Probably after my next interview with my interviewee, just to tell you how I've gone and how the questions went, and thank you for helping me.